These thoughts up in my head, things I never did. I took some L's, but I'm still here. I got these thoughts up in my head. I toss and turn about some things I never said. I got regrets about some things I never did. I took some risks and took some L's, but I'm still here. And I know.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm your host, Ed, and as always, journey with me as we pursue greatness in a world full of chaos. We are back at it again with episode 53. 53 in. Thank you for those that have been rocking with me since day one. If you're new here, we try to pursue our greatness in a world full of chaos. We know things are crazy. We know people try to take us off our paths. We know that people are going to try to halt our progress, but we still try to chase after greatness because we've been blessed to do it. We are built to do it, and we don't need to overthink this thing. So we'll keep it moving. I hope you had a good week. I hope that things went well for you. I hope that you're accomplishing everything that you set out to do. We still got time. We're getting ready to jump into October, where they will try to convince you that candy corn is amazing. It's disgusting. Argue with somebody else. Don't argue with me. I said what I said. Reese's Cups, though, fire. Enough about that, though. Let's stick to the task at hand. Once again, thank you so much for being here. As always, we try to encourage, we try to motivate, we try to uplift. Sometimes that involves words, sometimes that involves God himself, because sometimes he speaks through me when I don't know what to say, and he gives me the strength to continue to do this. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be on this platform. Yeah, whatever it is that you're chasing, whatever it is that you're going for, whatever it is that you're striving to do, I hope that this podcast can encourage you to do that. And if you like what you see and you like what you hear, feel free to share that with others, spread the word. We can always get out there more. But yeah, so if you want to stream and you want to catch me, I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and then we're also on YouTube with the visuals if you like to be the visual person. But if you want to hear us, obviously we have the streaming platforms. And then, of course, if you want to follow us on social media, I am at OverthinkingThoughtsPod on Instagram. And on TikTok, it's the same thing, OverthinkingThoughtsPod. So obviously, try to keep it simple. Catch me on YouTube at Overthinking Thoughts Podcast. I had to link the name out, but you'll see it. It's got the logo in there if you want to support and subscribe. Make sure if you are on YouTube, you subscribe and share. That's how we get the word out. So cool. So this episode, I wanted to talk about something that I think people are afraid to do. I was kind of sitting around thinking about ideas for the podcast, wondering what I want to talk about this week. And one of the things that came into mind was like, do people really utilize the gifts that they have, right? Like, do they actually go and use everything that they're blessed to do? And so I searched, why do people not use their gifts? And basically, I came across a HuffPost article from 2017, which still relates to us today based on some of these things. So a lot of times, the biggest factor of why people don't utilize the gifts that they have inside of them and the talents and skills they want to go after, it's one thing and one thing only. It's fear. There's multiple pieces of fear that go along with trying to do something you've never done before. There's also the uncertainty of if it's going to work. There's no guarantee when you step out on something if it's going to work. The only way you're going to know is if you actually go through with it. But a lot of us are afraid to do that because failure is an option, embarrassment is an option, not thinking you're good enough is an option. There's so many variables that'll tell you why you shouldn't do something, but we never really talk about the why or the importance of you actually stepping out into whatever it is that you're called to do, whether that's starting a clothing line, whether that's starting a podcast, starting a business, going after the job that you have been wanting to pursue for months, years, whatever. Like, we do not want to stunt our growth or halt our progress. We want to continue to go forward. And so as I was going through this article, I saw there were like it's called 5 Fears That Prevent You from Expressing Your Gifts. I'll try to link that in the YouTube description as well as Spotify as well, so that way you have it. But the number one reason why we don't utilize our gifts, according to this post, we fear that our gifts and talents are not good enough. We sell ourselves short on our own dream. As powerful as our mind is, and I know I've talked about this before, but as powerful as our mind is, and as powerful as we are when we're convincing ourselves that we can't do something, we could be 2 times as powerful, 10 times as powerful, is if we actually promoted good things to us, if we spoke positively to ourselves, if we started off on a good note, if we said, regardless of the circumstances or situations, we will still go out and be the best that we can be. Like, those things play an important factor. If you're blessed to have kids, or you have guardianship over children, or what may have you, you don't wake up and tell them that, hey son, have a bad day today. All right, son, go in there and learn absolutely nothing. You don't do that, you know. You usually get kids, have a great day. Remember, no matter what you face, you can get through it. Hey, we believe in you. We here for you. Like, that resonates in a kid. It didn't really, like, I was always told to have a good day at school. My mom always encouraged me. My dad always told me to go in there and do the best that I can, stick to business, and handle what I need to handle. It really didn't hit until I got into a school setting when one of the students said, I was coaching a kid, and one of the counselors came up to me and was like, you're the first person that told him that you believe in him. Mind you, I think the kid at the time was like a junior. So to think of how positive our words are when we tell people to go out and do things. But then when you're talking to yourself, why are you not telling yourself that you're strong? Why are you not telling yourself that you're capable of doing these things? Why are you dimming the light on your own soul when you're supposed to shine through? Why are you telling yourself that you're not good, that you're not great, that you can't do this, and comparing yourself to everybody else when really the gift that we need is the one that you possess? You just haven't unwrapped it yet. That's what we're looking for. We need your gift. We need what you're good at. That makes the world a better place. But we definitely fear that our talents aren't good enough. And so what ends up happening is that we start to kind of like stunt the growth. The one thing that really stands out in this one, it says other people will not think that we're good, right? They'll think we're talentless and that we have been lying to ourselves. And there's an overwhelming fear of not being encouraged and supported in the way we have. We have this gift and we feel like nobody supports us and nobody believes in it. And so what do? We just leave it where it is. Imagine, dial back in time when you were a youth, or even now, and you wake up on Christmas Day and you have had your eye on this one particular gift. You don't care what else you get. You want that one thing. You go downstairs, you're sitting with family, and the tree's up and everything's beautiful, and you see it. And you're like, I know that's it. The way it's wrapped, the size of, like, I know that that's what I've been going for. That's what I've wanted. And I can see it. Now, usually that'll be the first gift you go after because that's the one you want, right? So if we see the gift and we know that we have it and it's a possession, or like it's ours, like I see it, I just gotta unwrap it and use it. Why can't we apply that to our ability to use the gifts that we have? You might be a superb teacher, but you're holding out because you're afraid to get in front of people. You might be a great leader, but you're afraid to use your voice. You might be, a good entrepreneur, but you're afraid to start the business. Like, go out and just see if you can do it. If it doesn't work, then we find another way to go. It'll show us, but we have to make progress. We have to step forward. And another thing about why we don't use our gifts, and this is probably a big one, people feel like they're going to be rejected. Like, we hate being told no. Like, we share this plan. This is why you can't, like, share if you have a plan and you have a goal, share it with people that you know have your best interest. The ones that'll tell you, that will believe in you, and the ones that'll tell you, like, hey, don't go that route. We should try this. We should do this. We should do that. Like, get you some good constructive criticism people around you. Those are the ones that are going to help you do really well. If you just run around, you telling everybody your stuff, it'll get watered down, and you'll have people being like, that'll never work, or this is bad, or you doing this, you doing that, that's ridiculous. Like, now all of a sudden you sitting up there like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is meant for me. So we fear rejection. Like, nobody likes rejection. Nobody. I don't like it. I get mad when my youngest son tells me no. I'm like, hey man, we gotta go to bed. No. Who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody likes that. I get it. But you're going to be told no a lot. Like, there's going to be people that don't believe in the dream the minute you sell it to them. There's going to be people that don't believe your path until you start making progress. And even when you're making progress, there's still people that won't believe that you'll get to the finish line. There's a lot of doubters. It's a lot of people that reflect their negative energy on you because they don't want to see you be great. And a lot of times that happens because one, they're insecure, or two, they know that once you get there and once you achieve it, there's really no stopping you. And the scary part of that is that there's so many people that will reflect that negative energy, and they could easily switch that and make themselves go after it too. If we realize we weren't always in competition with each other, I understand there's certain things like that, but we could all grow and go our avenues and be great. But we've been taught to step over people and push people to the side and take advantage of others, like, and that only gets you so far. It's a temporary solution to a permanent problem, right? So yeah, being rejected happens. Being told no is gonna happen. Being told that, hey, you might not make it here, or hey, we love your resume, but we're going in a different route. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna end up where I need to be. Sometimes rejection actually puts you in the exact place where you need to be. You've been thinking so hard on this one spot, and they say, hey, thanks, but no thanks. And instead of losing your faith in that and being like, well, I fought so hard for it and that's it, understand that if you thought that that was the greatest thing that was supposed to happen for you, if you're being told no there, just imagine what's greater out there for you. Because had you forced that and had you fought for that, you might be miserable. But maybe the reason you got told no here is because God is still working on the amazing, spectacular thing that you need, and it's just not time yet. Stay patient, my friend. It'll come. It'll come. If it's for you, it's already for you. You just got to trust the process. The result is done. You just got to go through the process to get there. So, yeah, it happens, man. Trying to think of time. Well, basketball that happened a lot. Rejected on the court and off the court sometimes, but I still fought through. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to do what I had to do, but yeah, rejection is a part of life. People telling you no is a part of life. But that doesn't mean that you tell yourself no. Don't quit on you. We need your gift. And I know I'm kind of speeding through these things, but I really want to hit like certain ones. This one I thought was interesting. We fear that there is nothing beyond what we have. And I'm gonna read this one in entirety because I think this one's good. And remember, I got this from HuffPost.com, and I'll send that in the description. But it says, another fear that we have taken our talents. Oh wait, another fear is that we have taken our talents as far as they will go. We fear that there is nothing beyond this, no creativity, no new ideas. While they may be full of impressive ideas and creations, they never take the chance out of the fear of what is next, or if there is a next for them. The reality is that they were once creative, they always will be, and they just need to have faith in themselves. So you made it to your destination. And then once you get there, you're like, well, this must be it. Like, I must have peaked, and that's everything. No, man. Be the gift that keeps on giving. You still have more to contribute. You still have more to give. Like, when, playing college ball was great. And when it was over, a part of me was like, dang, I guess that's it. Like, I didn't really have a desire to go overseas. Also, I was in this category of thinking that I probably wasn't good enough to go. But I still found my avenue. I was able to still be around the game. I did commentary for a little bit. And then eventually I fell into coaching, and I was able to give back to the game that I love. And each year was different because I had different teams. The result was the same. We wanted to do the best that we could, and I wanted to make them better than just basketball players. I wanted to make them into good citizens, good role models, good young men, right? I wouldn't be able to do that if I gave up after college ball and just been like, well, I guess it's over with. There's no more else I can do. Nah, man, there's always something you can do. There's always something that you can contribute. There's always something that you can give. Within the giving, though, you just can't give up on you or your gift or your dream. You have to continue to keep pushing forward because there's always something out there. There's always somebody that'll need a hand. There's always somebody that can use motivation. There's somebody that can be encouragement. Your path, if it just so happens to cross their path and that's what they need, then you were put in the right place at the right time to use the gift that you have. So use it. Stop wasting that time and go use it. Another thing that I thought was interesting was we fear that fear is not going to go away. That we're always going to be scared. And this kind of the whole reason why the podcast started. Overthinking and being overwhelmed, right? This one says people who are overwhelmed by their fears are afraid that they will never go away. It's like the person who continues to have panic attacks because they panic over having another panic attack. I got something for that. People who have these deep-based fears fear they will never go away. They become crippled by them and therefore will not share their talents with the world. Let's dial back to the panic attacks, okay? If you have not followed the podcast, I did share one time that I had a crazy panic attack. Didn't even know what it was because I'd never had one before. And in a panic attack, everything goes crazy. Your body goes into this fight or flight response. Heart's beating like crazy fast. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You're panicking over something. The reality is that most of the stuff that you're panicking over is things that you've created or things that have never come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know people have like really bad anxiety. They get around crowds, they get around people. They can't control it. And because they can't control it, they start to, oh my gosh, like what's going on? And you start panicking in your mind. But even in the midst of the panic attack, the one thing that I remember was you have to stay. This is going to sound really weird, but in a panic attack, you have to stay calm so you can control how you breathe. Being patient, being calm allows you to breathe. It allows you to kind of assess the situation. So in the midst of having this, I'm telling my wife, like, my heart's beating so fast. I don't know what's going on, but I just was looking at my surroundings. I was like, I know where I'm at. The only thing that I feel is really inside. Like, I feel a lot of adrenaline. I was like, so then I just started taking my time and just slow breaths in and out, in and out. And then finally, like, I started to calm down a little bit. And it took a while, but like I finally got there. And then my fear was always I was going to have another one. And this is the craziest advice I got, but I thought it was going to work. Now, I almost did have another one like 2 weeks after that. I was chilling. I was playing the game and I could sense it coming. And because I sensed it coming, I kind of like, I don't want to say I controlled it, but I guess I caught it at the right time because I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to let it go all the way. I need to like tell myself, you're okay, everything's fine. So I went outside, I walked, I'm looking at everything. I'm like, here's my surroundings, here's everything that's going on. Like, I'm okay. It's nighttime, air is good, I'm breathing. I put music on and I just kind of walked through the neighborhood a little bit just to get myself back down. So I was still a little on edge, but I was able to like recognize what was going on. And then I went to counseling, or I talked to a therapist about this, which is very important. And she said something to me that I thought was absolutely wild. Her exact words to me was, if you're gonna have one, just have it. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, if you know it's coming, like, don't anticipate it. Like, don't like think yourself into one. But if you are in a situation that's coming, like, you already been through it, you know that, yeah, it's gonna suck, it's gonna be the worst of it, but you'll get through it. And it makes me think of like when you're going through a storm. Actually, that's another thing. I was talking to a good friend of mine who I consider a big brother. And I texted him, I said, hey man, I just want you to know I'm praying for you and I hope that your day's going well. And he texted me back and was like, I just kind of wish I could tell you that there's just a lot going on. But he said, I'm in the midst of a storm right now, but I do know that this too shall pass. And that's the thing with when we become overwhelmed or overstimulated. It will pass. It will eventually move on. And what we find is that the thing that we were panicking over, or the thing that we felt like was going to control us, actually had no control over us at all. For me personally, what I try to do is remember that at the end of the day, no matter how much control I think I have or I try to have, I can never be in control fully. And that's okay, because I know God is in control fully. And that helps. And I know that sometimes I go back and forth. It's kind of like, okay, God, like, I'm gonna give this to you. And I'm like, well, you're kind of moving in a way that I'm not familiar with. So maybe I'll take this back. And then I panic and I'm like, okay, God, you got to have it. Okay, you're still not moving as fast as I can. Maybe I can handle it now. Nope, can't handle it. And it's a back and forth thing. And sometimes you just got to let go and let God and understand that, yes, fear is out there. I get it. You don't always have control of everything. We don't always know what's going on. We don't know what's next. So like my biggest fear was dying and not being able to see my kids grow or not being there for my wife. And that was what I shared in my therapy session. And one thing that came out of that was like, then I gotta enjoy every day that I have, because the reality is, before I felt like this, I could have ended then. You feel me? Like it could have went south. Before all of this, I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of different things, experience a lot of different things, made a lot of mistakes, learned from a lot of mistakes, have grown in certain areas. I need to grow in other areas, but at the end of the day, like, for whatever reason, I'm still here. Which means if I'm still here, I still have purpose. And if I still have purpose, then I still got to keep going. Why would I sit there and wait and then get to the end and realize that I had all these opportunities in front of me and then I never did it? Gotta unwrap the gift. Or as my mom's pastor, R.A. Vernon from the Word Church in Cleveland, Ohio, says, don't worry about dying, worry about living. Trust that God's got it all under control, because he does. That's just me, though. If you ever want to talk about God, I would love to talk to you about it. Just throwing it out there. This one relates hard to me too. This was the fifth and final one. And like I said, I'm going to share this with y'all. But one of the biggest fears, we fear that our voice is not special enough. We don't think that we're capable. We think that our voice is not, it doesn't resonate like everybody else's. We feel like it's not going to work. And this might trigger some people, but I'm going to read it to you anyway because I needed it. People who possess special gifts, they're anxious. They're always comparing their voice to others. They wonder if their work holds up, if it's as good as others that are as successful, or if other people will understand their voice. Many creative and artistic types suffer from this feeling. This is why so many are not famous and known in their lifetime. They're either misunderstood or refuse to share their gifts at all. Now, here's the thing. I ain't really trying to be famous. Like, if we blow up, we blow up. Cool. That's, to God be the glory. He gonna get it all anyway. I don't really like spotlight. I remember at our wedding, my brother and my best friend, who is also my brother, they both got up and they said some great words. And the whole time I was sitting there, all eyes were on me. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my wife, and I was doing that thing where I was like, all right, cool. I don't really deserve all this. But, you know, my homie Avi the Great, as we call him, he said some great things about just our friendship and how we've grown over the years. And like, there's somebody I still rock with to this day. Like, we still connect, we still talk, we laugh, we joke. We can talk about serious stuff, but I know he gonna hold me down. And then my brother, man, like we've been rocking ever since the youth, you know. We done seen a lot of different things. We done been through a lot of different things. And for him to say all that, and being the oldest out of six, yeah. Sorry. Being the oldest out of six, and just going through a lot of different things and being an example for the younger siblings. Like, you don't really realize how much you do until they start telling you about it. So a lot of stuff I did scared because I just didn't know, and I felt like a lot of stuff I had to do on my own. But at the end of the day, like, I'm also grateful that I went through it in a way, because I can look back to them and tell them, like, don't go that route, go this way, don't do this, do that. Experience, man. Like, once you get experience and you learn from it, you can utilize it. That's another gift too. Use the experiences that you have faced. Use the things that you've gone through, whether good or bad. Don't let it control you. Don't let it power you. Don't let it imprison you, and don't imprison yourself in your own mind. Put yourself in a position to utilize everything that you've been through and use it as your weapon. Not in a weapon to destroy it, but in a weapon to build yourself stronger, to build a solid foundation, to grow and utilize whatever platform that you have to be the very best that you can be. Because it's your story, it's your identity, it's your gift, it's your talent, it's your dreams, it's your goals, it's your ambitions, it's all the things that you want to accomplish. So utilize it and then make it happen. But you got to unwrap the gift. So to kind of continue with this, like with the whole voice thing, just trying to skim this and this thing. This is a good part. This is something that we all need to do. It says the person needs to take a hard look at where the fears started and where they learned them and what they are based in. If they can answer these questions and work on addressing them, they may be able to diminish their fears and find themselves more willing to their gifts with their work and the world. They may feel that others' appreciation is genuine and real, and then come to truly believe that they do indeed have the talents that they were given. If they can come to believe that, life can be so different for them, and they can be the success they were meant to be. It's almost as if what I tell you every podcast was in that last statement, if you've been rocking with me. But that's reality though. Like, I used to say this all the time, like we all have different gifts inside of us and the world is just waiting on it, but they'll never be put to use if you don't use them. You might not have a gift to do podcasting, but you might have the gift to go do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be everybody else. Stop comparing yourself to other people's race and run your own race. Be in your own lane and focus on the things that you need to focus on. Makes me think of the scripture I read last night when I was in Matthew. And when, oh gosh, was it Peter walking on water? I'm sorry to all the Bible scholars. I can't remember. I'm still learning. I'm reading. But Jesus walked on water. And then Peter said, "Oh nope, I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to mess this up. All right, I'm gonna get this right, but give me a second." Okay, cool, I got it right. Don't doubt yourself, right? But Peter got out of the boat and he focused on God and he walked on water. And the minute he saw what was going on around him, he took his eyes off and he fell in the water. Oh, you little faith! Like, he started crying. He's like, "God, help me! I fell." God's like, "You were focused on me and you were doing great. You took your eyes off, you fell." So, like, for me, like, I know that I'll be better when I focus on God, but the minute I try to control things on my own, it doesn't work. For you, you might, I don't know what your path is. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that sometimes when we start looking and comparing ourselves to other people, we lose sight of who we are. We start, this is something I was guilty of. You try to start identifying yourself through other people by trying to emulate other people and trying to emulate their talents and their gifts, their goals, the paths that they walk, not realizing that because it's not meant for you, it's going to be harder and it'll never work. You'll never reach the finish line there because you're going the wrong way. You'll never get to where you need to be because you're chasing after somebody else's dream that had nothing to do with you. Don't be embarrassed with the gift that has been given to you. Use it. You don't have to be like everybody else to still make an impact. You can be yourself. You can start right where you are. I started with a headset and a computer. I've bought microphone stuff. I bought lights. I'm still using a phone as a camera. I'm utilizing what I have, but I'm still getting this word out. I got to stay consistent. I got to stay driven. I got to keep my passion alive because it's what moves me. It's what I feel God has allowed me to do, to use my voice. And maybe your voice isn't necessarily what you say, but it's more so the actions you have. So maybe you lead by example. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what your path is, but I would strongly encourage you to discover your path. And then I would also encourage you that once you discover your path and you see the gift that you have, pick up that gift and you go with it. Utilize what you have, man. Like, I don't know how much time you got. I don't. What I do know is if you have this moment, this opportunity, and this time to go do something, pick your gift up, unwrap that thing, and go handle business. Go do that. So, you know, yeah, we fear. Yeah, it's tough sometimes. Yeah, you get scared, you get nervous, you don't know if it's you or not. Have faith that if you've been put in that position to go, you go. There's nothing, you don't need to look back. Caleb Gordon said it best in his new song. Yesterday gone, forget about the past. So, keep moving. And yeah, so based on that, here's my simple task for you. The task this week: unwrap your gift. Take time to analyze what it is that you possess that you could use, that will allow you to walk into your purpose, that will allow you to accomplish your goals, that will allow you to live out your actual dreams, that will allow you to help others if that's what you desire to do, that will allow you to grow from where you were to where you're trying to become. Don't worry about past mistakes. I understand we fail sometimes, and maybe the fear of failure is something that we always do. But there's a quote out there, Alfred Whitehead, I believe: fear of failure is the death of progress. So we can't be afraid to fail. We can't be afraid that as we're taking these steps, we're not going to be good enough, or that people aren't going to believe in us. You won't know until you go, and you can't grow until you go. So you have to keep moving forward. Utilize the gift that you have. Please do that because somebody out there is waiting for it. Somebody out there needs to see you shine. Somebody out there needs to see you grow. Somebody needs to see you start the business. Somebody needs to see you start talking to people. Somebody needs to see you being an encouragement. Somebody needs to see your light. But if you keep the gift wrapped, we'll never know what you truly possess. I encourage you to unwrap your gift and then use it. If it's meant for you, why would you not use it? And of course, if you're struggling a little bit and you're like, oh, I have this gift and I know I have it, but I need the belief. Remember this. I believe in you. Now go believe in yourself, all right? It's the Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm Ed. We out.
These thoughts up in my head. Things I never did. I took some L's, but I'm still here. Got these thoughts up in my head. I toss and turn about some things I never said. I got regrets about some things I never did. I took some risks and took some L's, but I'm still here. And I know.